The most prolific scorer in the history of Rifle and Spartan women's basketball history, Jametria Hanna led the Rifles in scoring each of her 4 seasons, never missing a game, playing 111 all total. She scored 1,755 points in her career, averaging 15.8 points per game, while shooting 55.3% from the field. In addition to her position as the program's leading scorer, she also ranks 5th in program history in field goal percentage and 9th in total rebounds with 608. Following her playing career, Hanna served as an assistant coach for 5 seasons under head coaches Peggy Sells and Carmen Nealon, helping the Rifles to the program's first Peach Belt regular season and tournament championships and first 3 NCAA tournament appearances. In addition to her time as women's basketball assistant coach, Hanna was USC Upstate's first women's cross-country head coach in 1994. We welcome Jametria Hanna to the USC Upstate Athletics.
Right here to the Players Only podcast. Welcome, everybody. Listen, as you get in here, if you can hear us clearly, go ahead and hit the like button and make sure you like and share this out as we talk about one of the greats from Andrews, South Carolina. Man, Franklin Clary, how you doing, sir? Welcome. Thank you for popping in. Big
Yes,
night on the Players Only podcast. You had to be here, so
it's been crazy. No, I didn't want to miss this, man. This is since all of this Hall of Fame talk here the last couple of years regarding the Andrews High School Hall of Fame, I did not know anything about this young lady, and as we all had our sidebar conversations and began to learn more about what Ms. Hanna has accomplished, and not just in high school but in college. And so I'm looking forward to tonight. So that's why I said I got to be here for this.
So, listen, man, I was talking to her earlier. This is my big cuz. This was who, you know what I mean, who steered us toward basketball.
That's right.
And you know what I mean. And so, all of this stuff is new to me. I just remember the Michi in high school, killing it. And then, when she went off, boom, I finished high school and went on to the military and all that stuff. So I didn't know anything about I knew she was in college, but you heard how that man started that thing out, the most prolific scorer. You know what I mean? Hey. And so, and I'm always talking about that night she dropped them points at a thing, but the fact that she took it on to the next level, man. And let me go ahead and get her on here.
Yeah, that's big, and that's why it's important to have these kind of conversations. And again, to you for creating this platform again to highlight our athletes, because you're gonna miss something as we all grow up and move on. I'm out in the Army. I didn't know about all this great stuff, and I know she played with my younger sister played with her, and so I'm interested to hear about how my younger sister got this name Juice. So they've got a lot of history behind this team. And so it's going to be interesting talking to this young lady, and certainly we're proud of her. Town of Andrews has another Hall of Famer, and looking forward to hearing from Ms. Michi.
All right, so let me go ahead and do the intro here. Today, we have the honor of welcoming Jametria Hanna, a distinguished figure in the USC Upstate women's basketball history. A recent inductee into the USC Upstate Hall of Fame, hailing from Andrews, South Carolina, Jametria's remarkable career spanned from 1988 to 1992, during which she became the program's all-time leading scorer with 1,755 points, averaging 15.8 points per game and shooting an impressive 55.3% from the field. Her consistent performance saw her leading the team and scoring a season. Her consistent performance in her leading the team each season and never missing a game, totaling 111 consecutive game appearances. Beyond scoring prowess, she's the 5th all-time field goal percentage leader and 9th in rebounds in the program's history. And listen, let me tell you something. Hey. So when she left Andrews High, she was a dog, and she went up there and continued to be a dog. My big cuz.
Yeah, that's big time right there. There she is.
Hello, guys. Hello, hello.
Hey,
Mr.
hey,
Bear.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, little cuz.
Good to see
hey,
you.
Good to see
hey.
you guys.
You know me.
All right, we're gonna let him get through that moment right there. but that's just being proud of you, I mean, that's huge. And to hear him say again, I lost a lot of history of being away, but you you were the inspiration for a lot of these players, whether it's male or female, playing ball. And that's a huge testament to your accomplishments, obviously, and this not just that, how you took them under the wings and mentored them through this thing. And so, but I know we'll get into it. I know there were some folks that did the same thing for you.
Oh, most definitely.
I'm looking forward to hearing that. So talk to us a little bit
About let's start it
yeah.
off that way.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit about who influenced you to, we heard your accolades, but who encouraged you?
Oh man, who encouraged me? I got a few people, well, a lot of people actually. First and foremost was my dad, of course. I think I had a basketball in my hand at the age of 3. Um, I think I told a story before. We got a basketball in our house every Christmas. So there's a basketball court goal in the backyard. We got if we needed a new backboard, a new net, a new rim, whatever it was, Christmas time, we were getting that because we were going to spend the entire summer playing ball. So you got my dad, who was a good player himself. Later in life, I learned my mom was a good player. Didn't even know that. And then I also have my aunt who also um, went on and did her thing at Claflin University. So um, to say she was the one that had a big influence on me because I always wanted to be better than her. It was always that if she can do it, I can do it too. And so really, it was just striving to do that. So the best part of it was I was never forced to do it. This was something, yes, he put the ball in my hand, but it was something I grew to love for myself. And I had that dream. Val Jean played with us through that whole time, and she often says when she started playing, she knew she was just playing through high school, and she also knew I had the dream of continuing my education. So, and continuing to play on the next level. So we had that dream. We played together, and we played a lot of ball together. And she could have also gone and play as well, but that's not what she wanted to do. And it was a dream, and thankfully God allowed me to pursue that dream, and it turned out half decent, I guess.
Now you missed a name. Now you missed you missed the name.
You want to know about Juice? I know it.
No, I want to talk about Juice right now.
Okay. What name I missed?
I'm talking about Will. I'm talking about Hawk.
You know what?
Hawk, I saw Hawk play. Hawk was playing when I was coming up. We were watching those guys.
He was playing,
fadeaway.
but we all could beat him. Including myself. So we laugh about that because he was a player. He was that lefty that my dad wouldn't let me become.
Yep, that's right.
So he did play. He did.
I had to get that in there because that joker had a fadeaway. It didn't go far.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's awesome.
But if you had him on your team in the record, you was winning. Trust me, the other team hated it. I probably.
Oh God, yes, yeah. So even in the back, you know what you saw at the gym, we did that in my backyard. Our family games were. I mean, you had to be strong to come and play in this backyard because we would let you have it.
See, that's kind of unfair, man, to have all that talent in there. And you probably came 5 deep.
Yeah. It was half court, so most of the time it was 3-on-3 or 4-on-4. But yeah, and most of the time they didn't let us play together. So.
That's awesome, man. So I and Jamal, I'll ask my last question. I'll pause here.
No, you good. You good, man. You good.
Yeah. So I again, to get to the level where you as a Hall of Famer at Upstate USC, and you talk about your, what we do, and that's where a lot of players get better when playing rec or out there playing against even competition better than you. But talk to us a little bit about your how was that high school part of this influenced your progression, I should say.
Yeah, well, you know what? It even started back at Rosemary. I back in my backyard again. If you remember, Mr. Odom was the bus coordinator.
Oh man!
And it was across the street. And he, when during my time, was the person that made sure everyone got that fundamentals in middle school. So he did that. Well, he started doing that from across the street at Rosemary while he's monitoring the buses, and I'm in the backyard. Hannah, turn that wrist. Hannah, I mean, he would do it. And then even after that, I was able to go in and practice with his teams before 7th grade before I was allowed to play. So 4th, 5th, 6th grade, I still was able to go into practice. We didn't have AAU. We didn't have travel teams back then. We didn't even have rec league for girls at that time. I don't even know if they have it for the boys, but there wasn't a rec league, so everything you got pretty much came from the backyard, if you will.
Great.
So that's where I got that started, and so Rosemary, continuing that foundation. I even also started going to basketball camps. For obvious reasons, I started out at Claflin. Because they were probably trying to get me at that time, but I knew early on that was a school I did not want to attend, just because I wanted to go make my own name. I was always big on doing things for me.
That's right.
And just going to the camp, all I heard was, "That's Hannah's niece. That's Hannah's niece."
Oh.
So, yeah, maybe I was running from the pressure of Hannah's niece, but again, I just wanted to go and do it differently at a different school. So, but definitely they laid the foundation for me as well, because going to their camps gave me a lot of opportunities to play with people more on my level, meeting new friends. I mean, those are ways that you can actually, just being in the Army services, those are friendships that you cherish and that you'll have for a lifetime.
That's right. That's right.
So, like, what was that process of from Andrews High to, like you said, so going to the camps, did you end up playing against girls that got recruited alongside you?
Oh yeah. I played with, I've got one friend, Constance Satchels, and I met her the very first day. She actually played at Allendale Fairfax. Y'all familiar with them?
Oh, yeah.
But we met in 6th grade, and we continued our pen pals, because, no internet, all this stuff going on back then. We were pen pals, and we kept in touch. We made sure we attended the same camps. We eventually ended up playing for the same AAU teams. So we were, really connected all the way through high school. She chose to go out to Florida to Stetson. I wasn't going that far away from home, so like you're on your own on that one. But we just kept that connection. She actually eventually came back to Francis Mary, and we ended up playing against each other again. So, and even today we are still good friends. So that's just one bond of many that was created just from doing that. But the best part of that is, I got a lot of experience out of the backyard. But let's face it, most of that was playing against guys, because there weren't that many girls, Jamal included. Yeah. And
dragging us.
All my little younger cousins, my little brother, all the guys they allowed me to beat up on them.
It sounded like you were just dominating. They didn't allow it to happen.
They took it graciously. They didn't cry about it. Of course, their goal was to beat me. I think some of them eventually beat me a time or two, but it was fun. That was just fun times, and they don't know it, but they helped to mold me into the player that I became, because they were my practicing partners, if you will, my training partners.
That's right. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad you didn't go for practice dummies.
They choose your word wisely, huh?
Yeah. No, it was good. It was fun.
But so listen,
go ahead, Mom. Sorry.
You became the all-time lead scorer there. What was your mindset going in when you arrived on campus? What was your mindset?
It definitely wasn't to become the all-time leading scorer, I don't think. Well, I'll go back. Barbara Jean had done it at Claflin, so why not, right? Um, if I was going to be better than she was or half as good, I had to come close to it. But actually, no, going in, that wasn't a goal per se. But I was actually there my freshman year when the person before me broke the record. And playing with alongside her, she was like, this is short lived. You're going to break this before you're done.
Wow. Straight like that. She was like,
straight like that. She was like, oh yeah, this is good, but you're going to break this. I already know you will. And I promise you, it was not a goal. God was good. He allowed me. You heard I didn't miss a game. Honestly, I didn't miss a game at all. I didn't miss a game throughout my entire career. So I was blessed that I didn't have any type of major injuries. Had the sprained ankles, sore shoulders, sore knees. I had all of that, but nothing that prohibited me from missing a game or kept me from missing a game. That was all God for sure, because that's a lot on wear and tear on your body, especially back then, because we probably weren't as precautious as they are today, because we kind of just iced it. I can remember I think it was around Christmas time. In the backyard, I sprained my ankle pretty bad. But we put that ice stuff on it, froze it up, taped it up, and going. I played.
But what I'm gathering, I mean, even in this short few minutes we were talking to you, and other than just probably being a part of your DNA, it's that drive to be the best, and wanting to chart your own path. And I think that's something that's missing in our younger players right now, and the work ethics, the desire, the will to just work on their game, is what I think we're missing. Because I remember when I got back here, we're used to, just the fundamentals like you were talking about that Mr. Odom, Coach Odom taught us. We all know about the turning of the wrist and the square, and how just the basics that he taught us that stuck with us even to this day.
Yep.
Something is a lot is missing, seems like, because those fundamentals, to be able to dribble, control the ball, making decisions, is absent from many of our, not just in Andrews. I'm talking about across, when you watch all these kids, it's just not there. So how is that change? I mean, how do they?
Well, it's funny you say that. The game has changed, and we can all attest to that. It has changed, but I think I personally think it's the NBA. We see these guys doing these magical shots, and yeah, we did it even, right, Jamal? We did it back then, but the fundamental side of it has been lost, and we think we can just go out and we can start going behind the back and driving and just doing the finger roll. Those are things that you have to learn once you've gotten those fundamentals down. Learn the game, then you can do the trick shots. Then you can do the fancy stuff, or what people think are the exciting plays. 2 points is 2 points to me, and that's how I was able to score, I think, as many points as I did, because I didn't have to shoot the 3-pointer. Obviously, with a 53% field goal percentage, there wasn't a whole lot of 3-point shots done, because I'm going to take what I want and I'm going to drive it and do the basic shot.
And I think even more beyond that part, the showboat or whatever, I'm talking just the fundamental being able to bring the ball up the court,
dribble, yeah,
pass to the open person, go, take that off, take that open shot, dribbling with your head up, and you're
all
right.
those things
A lot
we
of
were
folks
taught.
want to be these, everybody want to break somebody's ankle, with the crossover, but you can't even control the ball in, 3 dribbles. And so if we can get that right in decision making and understanding that you don't drill the ball to the person you want to pass it to, because that's one thing Coach Odom taught us, is that ball going to move faster than you can dribble it to.
Exactly.
And those are kind of things that are just
and make that good pass, just all those things, and another thing, players are made when in the off season. You cannot think and I'm just speaking basketball right now for season wise, but it applies to all sports. But if your season ends in February and you don't pick that ball up again until October, the world knows, we can see it. Nothing has changed. You haven't improved. You got to put that work in the off seasons, however you do it, whether it's just in the backyard, whether you've gone to camps, whether you've done the travel teams. And I know that's the big thing right now, the travel teams, but you got to play. You got to continuously work on your game in some form or another.
And I'll say this, and I'll stand down again. I will tell you one thing is missing. So I'm gonna try to help answer the question that I put out there.
Okay.
It is players like yourself, people like yourself, because you're a great person beyond. Again, I didn't know a whole lot about your basketball. I know you played, but I didn't know all of these wonderful things. But I know you're a wonderful person and you're a good people person. So here's the thing. Here's a big missing piece. All of y'all went to school and stayed gone.
No, that's not true.
And so
I came back.
I came back.
I came back.
Hey, Bear. Ooh, man. Yes, she
ask
did.
Talk to me about. Okay.
Ernie Cooper had me come back. Even while I was still coaching, I would come back and offer camp for a week during the summers. And then after I got out of coaching and went into the corporate world, I woget take a week vacation and come back.
I need you to change your address.
See? don't get me. I did. I tried, and then there was one coach, and I offered this. I did this last coach. I'll say it. I didn't this last coach, just because I didn't really have the time at the moment. But there was one coach that wasn't from around here, and I offered and never called me back. And I think after that, I was like, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah, so and that's the point. That's what we have to talk about, because I look at what you're doing. I look at what Sister Carrot is doing up in Columbia. I think there's a camp or something that's getting ready to kick off here. Because we had the Deacon Hannahs, and we had all of these folks who were here that helped us through this, and and shaped us in different forms. And we don't have that right now as much as we back then. Again, I'm being and I know your careers. I'm just everybody's not going to come back home. But the point is that is what's a lot of what's missing in our kids is seeing that example, and being able to have that direct connection with you on a consistent base. That it's just times have changed.
Times have definitely changed.
Time has changed.
I forgot Dr. Giles. Dr. Giles, we did camps together as well when she was back teaching, and so we have done it. No, we haven't done it recently, and we've talked about it. It is something that's very much needed.
I think I'm gonna go a little cut deeper. It's the parent involvement is where that is not, like you said. There's no more Mr. Jimmy Giles. There's no more Mr. Deacon Hannah. You know what I mean? That's really persistent with that. again, Mr. Odom was doing bus duty, but he had enough awareness around him to, in his environment, and be like, okay, cool, I can help out over here. You feel what I'm saying? And so it's a lot of like, we got to step up. We got to step up, men. We got to stop talking. We got to really step up. We got to go to these recs. We got to go to these gyms, and we can't. We know what the problem is. We already diagnosed it. You know what I mean? But it's got to be hands-on. And what happens a lot of times is fatigue. People get fatigued because they come, they pour in. You feel what I'm saying? And but it's an ongoing fight, and we gotta maintain it.
But in all fairness, too, man, with the talent, I mean, we all lived abroad, and I spent my 40 years away, so I'm not. Yeah, so I'm just saying is that when we talk about the problem or the challenges, we got to consider all those things that were influential in our rise to where we were coming to, and that with hopes that someone that's local will say, hey, you know what, I can play a little ball. Let me get in there and help out, or whether it's academics, whatever the case may be. And that's what's because you can't keep talent locked in. I mean, it'd be small town. You Hall of Fame. You should have, and you did coach at the collegiate level, and we can't expect you to come back here. But it's just for us that are here now to be a little bit more involved and sharing that development of the kids, man. Because you have a remarkable career.
Well, thank you. And I think another thing we can't forget, it's like kids are different.
Yeah.
I think we were
raised in the church.
Yeah, we were raised in the church. But
come on now. Come on. Let's we can't
you're
leave.
Absolutely right.
Okay. JD Rivers
I played basketball 6 days a week, but I promise you on Sundays we didn't touch the ball. But it's not even that. What I'm trying. I don't know that the kids are as vested or as interested as we were. They don't have that passion. Kids don't go play because your mom, dad wants you to be out there playing. You can't live your parents' dream. You got to do these things because you want to do it. You got to do it because that's in you. I did all of this, but no one ever forced me to get out there to play basketball. No one ever forced me to go practice my layups, to go. Now, I can even tell you, I used to also take piano lessons.
Okay.
All right. So that was forced. That was forced. And I mean, I did it, and I did it for 6-7 years. I wanted to do it early on, and then it got to a point where I really didn't want to, and it was forced, and we ultimately came to the agreement, you waste the money. So
and that's a very good point. Find that interest in the kid, because it's not going to, and so then maybe what we should be thinking as a community, maybe it's not, you may have one or two, as opposed to you guys had probably several people on your team, and Jamal's team, and Jared's team, that could have gone to the next level. Maybe that's not where they are now with how things have changed. Mm-hmm. So then maybe we need to focus towards, what is that academic, because that's always got to be the foundation of this thing. And so maybe that's what we drive the kids. Maybe sports is just now becoming the thing that helps them, socialize them with other people, interacting and becoming, better team players, and then leave it at that. As opposed to say, hey, we see talent in you, but if the drive is not in that kid,
you can't force it.
Then you can't force it. Maybe that's what maybe that's where we are.
I'm not saying that none of them have it, but I mean,
no, I'm with you.
Well, and what I see, cuz, is at the lower level is it's too serious. Like that little championship game last night that my daughter played in, it got too serious for me. Like, listen, it got to the point where the coach for the opposing team's mom coaches with her, right? She's loud too, right? But whatever, because it's just kids, and I'm like, it ain't that damn serious. But serious, right? I get it. I get you wanting to win, but what do we learn? Listen, her and the scorekeeper got into it, like almost got into a fight. And you know,
Wow.
I'm recording it now. I'm getting Big Shikaji out of the way and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But it's just, what does it do to a child when the parent becomes more interested in the sport than the child actually is? What does that impact?
I just wrote that down. I promise you. I just wrote that down, that it appears that the parents are more excited, interested, whatever that the child be, and frankly, not all the kids are that talented. But you would see it doesn't matter. That parent wants them to, they see them as being the best on the floor, regardless, and that's not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong, but how do you manage expectation? And again, if it's not in that child, are you forcing them to be a pianist when they're really, destined to be a Hall of Fame basketball player? Where is the mindset of the parent, and how do you, like football, we see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The kid wants to, he's out there, but why?
Right.
All right. So
and you can always tell the difference. You can always tell those kids that want to be there for them. There's a big difference in their attitude, their effort. You see all of that.
You're on mute, Jared.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get them in there. Yeah. And by the way, I was going to submit this podcast to this podcast page that I'm on, but I was hoping Jared would have his camera on the phone, but nah. You go ahead. Go ahead, Jared.
My apologies. I'm coming home from work, but
Nah, I know, brother. I know. I'm messing with you. Go ahead.
a lot of these parents are their kids' Achilles heels, and what I mean by that is you have to be objective about your kid's talent from jump. You
What is
got some
objective?
kids.
For using this big word, you got to break that down. See, people need to be objective about. My child is the best. I don't know what you were talking about.
They
And
need to
I
be
don't care what y'all
honest.
coaching in practice.
That's right.
When my child get on that floor, shoot. You know what I mean? Like, I'm coaching from the bench. I'm coaching from the sideline. Coach
Hey,
Garrett. But go
my
ahead,
dad,
Coach
my,
Garrett.
my dad did it for all those years.
Well,
He was never my official coach.
But listen, it's different when your child's the best player on the team and you really good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna have to defer as a coach. I'm gonna tell other parents, look here, you need to shut up. You know what I mean? But I'm sorry, Jared, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay, he's frozen in time.
yes, he is.
Yes,
Yep.
he is. Let's remove him off the screen right there for a second till he come back. But yeah, the seriousness, and because you watch a lot of basketball, you, Pope, and Jared, you are I like basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going to a game here and there, but you guys
Love it.
love it to the point where
Live
you
it.
think it on a whole different level. So like, and with the growth of women's basketball right now, where do you see how do you see the game right now? I know you said the game has changed a lot. In what way? Because you coached also.
Yeah, well, I think it changed and it's evolved. It's evolved. We did. I can't do half of the things that I see the Fawalis of the world, the Jujus of the world. I, I would never. I could have never done what they're doing today. And it's just because I don't even know why. Really, they learn a different type of way of playing. We learned to just keep the basics. We didn't really have that opportunity to just free willy and just go crazy out there. And I'm just using that term. But that's part of the difference. And some of us older folks, we gotta learn to give them a little bit of leeway so that they can go out and thrive. But sometimes you got to reel them back in and like, look, we can't. It can't be like that always. There is a time and a place to do those fun things. So I think a lot of them are learning. Once they get to the WNBA, it's going to be another whole different learning curve because now you're playing with women. These are real women playing. Honestly, I don't know how they're playing at that age because I remember when I was a senior, I was just happy to get to that last game because my knees were killing me so bad. I was like, I'm ready to stop playing for a little while. So, but
I guess that speaks to the evolution of the game, though, because like
yep,
you said,
it
like
does.
the training starts way earlier now. You know what I mean?
Not on, and the training is different. The training is also different,
Uh,
much better. I can even tell you this from high school to college, I thought I was playing a different sport by the
Mm.
time I got to school. The training in college was nothing compared to what I did in high school when I thought I was training. When they sent me that preseason over the summer workout sheet that I didn't do my freshman year, I pa-
but still
I
letting scoring though, but still
I
still letting
pay.
team scoring.
Well, hold up. I had to pay for that though.
Yeah.
That preseason, those 2 a days, those 5:30 in the morning workouts, those in the weight room, those things that we didn't do when we were in high school. Um, yeah, it was. I totally thought I was playing a different sport. I knew that this was a job. This was my job in college. That's how they treat it. It's a job to
That's
you.
right.
You're getting paid to do these things, and you can either do it and keep the money coming in, or you can not do it and find you someplace else to play.
Pretty
That's kind of
much.
how it boils down to.
And WNBA wasn't it wasn't
Wasn't even
It
established.
starting
started
then.
maybe 3 years afterwards, I think.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It started afterwards.
1990, 1996,
Six,
97
yeah,
was
two,
the
3 years, four
was the
years.
yeah
So I
was the
finished in
ABL, and
92.
then
Yep.
and then 97, 98 was the WNBA, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
The option at that time was only to go internationally.
Yeah.
Again, wasn't really interested because Dawn like a year older than me, I believe. So I watched her play at Virginia and watched her go all around where she went. So by that time, like I said, I was done.
And Don Staley you're referring to, right?
Don Staley, the
Okay.
Don Staley.
The Don Staley.
That's-
So,
Yes.
but it's and I see you at all the ball games, so I know you're a USC fan. I'm assuming.
Most definitely
Yes,
I am.
USC fan. You and Val and I think Angela and
Oh yeah.
Nehanna. Yep.
Hannah, all of them
Yeah.
are at the games, and so it is a part of your life. And again, we even as fans and community leaders now have to manage expectation and like you put a lot into it to get there, and you're still with it. And maybe we have to again not put so much pressure on kids coming up now because again it's so many different distractions or interests.
Oh, yeah.
And then like we talked to young chef on you'll see them still. You may not see the level of work, but you see the end result, and in terms of not a level of work but the effort. And so that young man didn't stop because he didn't get heavily recruited. He went to a place, and now he's an All-American, college All-American right now playing football in California. So
It can be done.
it can be done.
It can be done.
It can be done, and it's just it makes me proud to see talk to you all about this thing, man. Because I think all of these kind of things, as I said to Jamal before, these platforms probably will serve as a motivation and encourage some of the kids that go to school, even whether you play ball or not, go to school and get your education. Yes. You walk away with all of this and a degree.
Free.
See?
Free. That's the biggest that was the big motivator for me as well. Because my dad promised me, he said, if I don't pay for you to go to college, I'll buy you a car. That was like a fair deal to me.
just awesome, man. So
Yeah.
So you're still involved with coaching a little bit, or
Not as much. Contemplating if it's something I really want to get back into, but it's there. I mean, basketball. I don't think I'll ever get tired of basketball. I think
yeah.
Val and I, we laugh about when we go to the SEC tournament or different tournaments, and we see these older folks walking around still trying to get in there. Like that's going to be us. We're going to
What
be
and
with our cane, and we're going to still be
what
trying to get there.
what is it about basketball that draws you to the game like that?
Now it's about the evolution, just seeing what they're going to do now. What's new? What how much better can they get? And being watching South Carolina the way I've been watching them, and seeing these young ladies go from their freshman year to their senior year, and the progression that they've taken, it's just amazing to see. And to see it
Cuz
live is just totally different than watching it on TV.
and cuz please speak to that again now. I'm getting you to talk to I ain't even gonna call his name, but we all know Pope. But is Don Staley a talent developer?
No.
I would say she is. Yes, people have disagreements on her methods, but I think with her being at all the levels, playing at all the levels, she knows what it takes to get where they need to go. And her whole point is to teach them to be a well-rounded player. Yes, you can score. Yes, you can shoot. Yes, you can do this. Can you defend? Can you pass? Can you be a team player? Yes, I think she's a great developer because her focus again is she's getting them prepared for the next level. Whether they make it or not, she's
Hey,
giving them the tools to get there.
it's me and Big D had this conversation the other day when they lost to Connecticut, and she kept when Full Wally kept coming in and providing that big spark, right? And the debate was why ain't Dawn starting her? I'm like, Dawn sees something. This girl has like, it's not that she's trying to keep her back,
Not
but
at all.
it's because I think I don't know what her game management skills is, and I think it's something. It's a reason why I don't. People want to. She just don't. Nah, she sees something in that kid. Because that
And you
girl
got to
is a.
remember, she's a lot like when I played, if you will. In high school, you don't have to be a well-rounded player. In
No
high
doubt.
school,
No
if
doubt.
you're just a scorer, they're going to let you score, and that's what they're supposed to do. That's what high school is for. Um, you may or may not have to play defense in high school.
Yeah.
I didn't play a lot of defense in high school, shamelessly, but I didn't because I didn't have to. I had juice. I,
I
I
was
had
waiting on that. I was waiting.
I had people around me that played defense. My job was to score. Well, Wally's job has always been to do nothing but put the points on the board.
Since she was in 7th grade.
And she's been doing it since 7th grade. Exactly. I remember watching her at state in 7th grade and knew she was going to be that player. So it's coming. It's coming. I see. I already see her progression. I've seen it. She's getting there. She's becoming that full player that we're going to see the next 2 years.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna have to break. But I've never heard that. I'm rather question whether Dawn was a developer. I would say, man, how could anybody with her success?
Listen, these are
Really,
basketball
somebody's
people,
really
dog. Like, because when they say that to me, I'm like,
I,
you crazy?
I
What are you
haven't
talking about?
I
Like, the
haven't
proof is
gave
in
my
the pudding.
synopsis. Y'all be mad with me.
Hey,
Go
You'll be
ahead.
mad with me.
wait a minute, but
Um,
I would say, let me caution you before.
Come on, Mr. Philly.
Yeah, I know Philly gonna get it, but
Come on, Mr. Philly.
how do you argue with the successes he's had? You think it's all just developed players? And now, and I, my niece was recruited. Well, was recruited there.
Right.
And so
And is she for everyone? No.
No,
Your
she's
No.
not.
your
You do
niece
have to
was
move.
there, and your niece left, and because she thought
Right.
it was a better
It
opportunity
was a
for
better
her somewhere
opportunity in
else.
Texas. Exactly.
Yep.
But I would never, even with that and understanding the whole dynamics behind that, I would never question Don's ability to develop a player.
Well,
I don't know.
You're not Jared Gibson or quote unquote.
They're haters. Don't mind them.
I love Dawn.
I
I
know you
love
do.
Dawn.
It's the
But
Philly thing in you.
Yeah,
what I,
that's what I'm saying. And that's a Philly girl. How you going against the whole
because
team?
I'm explain. Actually, she's similar to myself. She has Philadelphia ties, but her family is right from South Carolina.
South Carolina as well.
She's the only child out of all of the children to be born in Philadelphia. All of her siblings are born in South Carolina and
All right,
moved.
but we got that. I can Wikipedia all that. I want to know why you think Don ain't a developer of talent. Cut all that. You try to come in with a
if you
soft
allow me
layup.
to break in and say, if you allow me, I want to say, because I got a break. I want to say congratulations to Miss Hannah on your Hall of Fame. Well deserved, obviously. I mean, and we're so proud of you here in the town of Andrews, and I know upstate, and those folks that know you there, and just keep doing what you do. And I know again, we're gonna see you in Andrews, touching these kids and being able to encourage them as you always do, because you're home all the time. But man, we're so proud of you, and congratulations, well deserved Hall of Fame. And
thank you.
And I'm certain next year when the Andrews High School will roll around, they're not going to miss this opportunity.
She should have been the first one voted
see?
in.
I'm gonna throw it out there. I know.
You
can't
see?
talk
We're
the
not
fact.
going there on that one, but thank you so much,
Said
Mayor.
Yes, we love you, and
I
that's.
appreciate it.
We know when you're coming out of the block, some of the things are not quite right, but I'm almost certain we're going to make sure we get it right here at the hometown.
No doubt.
God's will be done.
Okay.
I'm
Congratulations.
putting myself on the
Thank
committee. And first, I'm voting her in right there. And
All
listen,
right,
they haven't.
And to the host and Jared, man, you guys, we'll be back. Real Talk Tuesday will be back here soon. And man, y'all be easy. And again, congratulations, sweetheart.
Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you. It means a lot. I'm in good company here today.
No, thank you so much.
My guy, Jared.
So what I will say,
we have all kinds of arguments, so it's okay.
All the time. I love her to death, though. She's my favorite player to don the Andrews High School jersey, to be honest with you. But
oh man,
yeah, she's the truth. Always have been, always will be. But what I say about Dawn is, I think Dawn's a great coach in terms of X's and O's. I think she does a great job of teaching basketball in terms of understanding little things, understanding how to play within a offensive system, and understanding how to play great help defense. But if you look at the guards that have come in and out of the program, she's had nothing but McDonald's All-Americans probably since 2018, 2019 from the guard position. And what I will say is that a lot of the girls, they improve in terms of understanding basketball concepts, but in terms of self-development, improving as an individual, that line can be blurred. And what I mean by that, if you look at the young lady that came from Jacksonville, Florida, she might have been one of the most talented guards that ever donned the South Carolina jersey. But the same way she came in terms of her skill set was the same way, in my humble opinion, she left. That's why she flamed out in the NBA. I mean WNBA. What I'll say about Full Wally is that's not going to happen, because in my humble opinion, probably next to Hannah, she might be the most talented player that I've seen on the girl side in terms of just raw talent. It's nothing she can't do with a basketball, but what she has to do is improve on her ability to facilitate, play, help defense, and understand time and possession, and understand the game between the ears. But a lot of girls that I've seen that were guards at South Carolina have left South Carolina. The young lady that's at NC State now, that was top 5 in the country, that came there, and the young lady that's at Tennessee, and they're doing well. So
I see. That's where I'm
All
going to
right, all right.
disagree with you at. Hold
But
on, hold on before you do that. Hold on.
yeah, go ahead. Because my question is, did
This
he answer
girl
the
at
question?
NC State looks the same as she looked when she left South Carolina. What's different? What's different about her game?
nothing. She got the ball in her hand.
That's the only difference. Her game is the same. She has not improved. But hey, that's not why we're here to discuss. So I'm not gonna argue with you on that one, Jared. But I disagree.
I know you. I know
No
you do.
doubt, man. Hey, listen, cuz I ain't gonna hold you here much longer, man. This has been definitely fun.
This was good.
Yeah, much needed. It's just I'm just overjoyed. Listen, quickly for any young lady that's getting ready to transition from college to from high school to college. You just expressed it as being a different sport. You saw it as a different sport. Can you touch on that a little bit more? Just leaving a gem for a young lady that's going to come across this and that's going to make that transition. And how is that?
Yeah.
You talk about
that. Just know that anytime you go from one level to the next level, there's going to be changes. There's going to be a difference. It's supposed to get harder for you. If it doesn't, then you really haven't moved to the next level. So when I say that I thought it was a different sport, the preparation, the preseason training, the preseason workout was totally different than what I was accustomed to. Their high school coach may be now having them do all of this. Yes, we went in the weight room in high school, but it wasn't demanded that I go in there 3 days a week. It wasn't demanded that you meet these requirements where you got to run your laps in a certain frame. You got to be able to lift certain amount in weights. So when I had to do all of that, yeah, they pulled the garbage cans out for us. And luckily I didn't do one of those, but there were some that you had to get rid of that because that's just how hard you work. Because like I said before, that's your job. If you're going on a scholarship and these people are paying your way through school, they expect you to give your all. You got classes, you got study halls, you got practices, all this in the day, and it doesn't matter. You have to be there. You have to be there on time. You have to. You're there. No, and the thing of it is, yes, your coaches are going to make sure you do it, but otherwise, you're on your own. Your parents aren't there to make you go. You got to go, and it's just know that it's work. It's not going to be an easy transition at all. It's worth it. It's fun in the end, but that preseason part of it, it's the worst. Then, and even just before the season starts, they're 2-a-days. You're practicing in the morning before classes. You go to class, and you got practice after class. Then you still got to go to study hall.
All while dealing with the fact that you're not the big dog anymore.
And that's the other thing. Yes, we didn't even talk about that. Now you're no longer the only or the best player. Everybody on that court in most instances
Was somebody in high
was
school.
was the best player in high school.
Yeah.
So now you got to learn to adjust to all these other number ones.
The things that used to do that came easy to you now, it's
they can do it too. Yeah,
Or
you did that crossover and you were gone. That person's still there with you. Now, how are you going to get past them? So those are things. That's why I said it's important to work on the off season. You got to work on your game. You got to improve. That's agility, speed. You got to work on all of those things. It's just not a one faceted thing to do when you're playing sports. It's working on your all around game.
And to be honest with
Jonathan
you,
Giles. I'm looking at the comment. He was the player. He was the football player when I was in high school. And make sure y'all check out his son Zion
his son is ranked
if
number
you
one
haven't.
in South Carolina right now.
Yep.
The number one player, the guy.
Exactly.
I see that guy have Dabo, Shea Beamer, the coach of Georgia, and all these boys on campus in the snow. I'm talking about it's snowing. That recruiting window is still open. Let me get down there, be the first one to holler at Jonathan.
And you know what? That's something I gotta imagine his son wants to do these things, and so he's providing the funds.
Oh, he a baller.
So that his son can get these opportunities. That's how it's done. You got to be able to. You got to put in to get something out of it.
Exactly. Invest in your child. That's outside of buying Jordans and designers. If you want your son or your daughter to play at the next level or have an opportunity to gain exposure, you got to invest in them. Whether it be travel ball, whether it be a trainer, whether it be
but let's get back to that word objective. We got to be objective.
Yeah.
Because you get people saying, "Oh, it's a scam." No, your child's skills is a scam. Okay, let's just be, you know what I mean? Let's just be real. Just because you paid, don't mean they play.
I can't turn water into wine.
Whoa. Would you say that one more time?
Just because you pay, don't mean they play.
Exactly.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Like, I guess because there was a conversation that was on this sports forum that I'm on that was talking about some parents was kind of upset because they paid all this money and the child didn't get the playing time. Your child probably didn't.
I agree with them on that.
Time.
I blame the coaches that accepted these kids.
The expectations.
You knew that child was not qualified to be part of your team.
There we go.
But yet you took that parent's hard-earned money. So yeah, I'm one of those one that think if a parent pays to play on your team, you should play them.
I'm with you too.
If you don't want to play them,
that's why you have a premier team and a team that you develop on.
Exactly.
That's the distinct difference.
Don't take these parents' money if you're not going to play these kids.
I concur.
Okay,
that's another conversation that I could go all day on that one.
Because you pay the money with the thought that I'm developing my child.
I'm paying the money. You got to have these expectations set. You got to know that. You got to know that because think about it. Not only are they paying to play on this team, they got to pay to travel. They got to pay to get in these tournaments. They got to pay for stay. So you already know this kid. Not I won't even say trash. They're not capable of being the type of player that their parents expect them to be. So you got to be honest with them. You got to let them know, hey, this is what's going to happen. Maybe your child should go play with this development team rather than come over here.
But
be honest.
They're going to pay mama for snacks. You know what I mean?
These people work too hard. Money is too hard to come by to just
throw it away.
Throw it away because I don't know many of our parents that have money to just throw away and not care if their child play or not.
Well, but what I will say, and I'll say this all the time, is levels. And I'm not gonna call no names. I'll say, your child's ability at this point in time in life. You know whether or not your child has the ability to see themselves playing at starting as a freshman on varsity or sophomore on varsity, or not playing at all at the high school level. If your
Mhm.
kid is not good enough, back when I played, it was a privilege to play travel basketball or
Right.
AAU.
Exactly.
Now
Right.
everybody played it. It wasn't
Right.
no Kevin. Believe it, Kevin
You
Gibson was not paying any money for me to
exactly.
play travel basketball. Bottom line, either you're going to be good enough to play, or you can work in the summer,
Yeah.
or you can do both. Bottom line, and I think that's the problem now is that all these parents feel like their son or their daughter is the next best thing since sliced bread, and that ain't the case. You
Yeah.
know, and I'm we have to push kids to the wayside all the time and tell them, son, please go do something else with your time this summer because you're not going to play much with us.
But
And that's the difference.
and
And,
that's
and
the
and
thing.
as long as you're honest, I can accept that. Is these leagues, these teams that they're in it for the money. Let's just face it. They're looking to get the money. They could care less if that child is developed. They could care less if the parent is upset that their child didn't play. They already got your money. That's all they wanted from you. If you're
And
honest
and
with them and they still spend their money, that's on them. But you
and so
cannot mislead these parents.
and on the parents, and you got to do your due diligence, and you got to ask these questions up
This,
front.
hey, and you're
Like you
right.
said, you need to let them know, hey, listen, I'm spending my money with a certain expectation. And if you would tell me no, you're not going to get that, I'll take my money somewhere else.
Somewhere else, and that's what you should
It,
do.
And
I
there's
mean
local
that
teams
went
that
back
they can
even when
play
I
on.
played. My dad did that because I had to go to Clinton every
Hmm.
weekend from March to July. Every weekend, my parents drove me to Clinton, 3 hours away, to play on the AAU team because I think there were a couple in Columbia, may have even been one in Charleston, but we chose the one in Clinton. But trust and
That's
believe, he asked a lot of questions before we started making those trips.
hey, because I
Felicia says
mean,
she
like
sees
you
it a lot
said,
in baseball. I believe it.
yeah, there's no what's they call that discretionary just income where you can just what I mean, like
Let me throw you
let's
this. Let me throw you this 1,000.
yeah. Oh, you ready to quit? No problem. No, no, no. You had to have that real conversation. Hey, look at here. Do you?
Are you sure this is what you want to do
Yes, I'm trying to tell you
before
now.
I invest in this? Because this is going to require you to do this for X number of weeks. You're going to
Yeah.
be gone. It may require you to miss prom. It may require you to miss a
Bike
party,
week, bike week in the
bike
case
week,
right now.
bike. It may
that,
require all of that. So, no, these are real life discussion questions that need to be discussed.
man. If I tell you how many kids that I pretty much knew that went to bike week instead of going to travel basketball tournaments from that little town of Andrews that could have been playing college basketball at the next level, I'll be sitting up here counting another
Yeah,
$1,000.
Well, I
yeah.
could show with that I could probably show you some bad parents because you're not making them decisions in my house at that time like that. I mean, if that's the choice, you feel what I'm saying? Bike week or you know what I mean? Oh, so you get to
I
make
don't.
that.
The pop was at work. I don't think it was pop. Pop wasn't the issue.
You know,
The pop wasn't the issue. I'll say that. The pop wasn't the issue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
But it's
everybody got to make their own choices in life. I get
Yeah.
all of that, but I'm
but
I'm
it,
I'm a
it boils
stickler about
down to
this spending
parents.
money that we don't have to give, and y'all know that ain't right, but it's okay. It's not okay. I ain't gonna say that.
But they
That's
got local
See,
teams
y'all
that
made
they
me get
can
on my
continue to
soapbox
play
that I
with.
wasn't supposed to get on no soapbox.
They
cause
got
this what is
local teams that
that's
they
what
can
the
play with.
podcast is about. You feel what I'm saying? Because listen, here's why that matters. Cause you a Hall of Famer, cuz. That's what I'm saying. That's not just any opinion. You know what I mean? Like I know this is somebody that's watched, like you said, the development of this game. Um, and I think this WNBA season is setting up, and I think the powers that be are making these things happen to where this is going to be a very big, you know what I mean? The way I see it is going to be the best player who is Asia Wilson, and it's going to be Asia Wilson, Kate Clark, and they're going to play off for that whole dynamic right there. You know what I mean?
Oh,
but because of some moves that both teams made this year, so I mean, you would be the expert on this. So how do you
I
see
think
that?
it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a competitive season this year in the WNBA. They are definitely doing a better job trying to align the teams so that they're not so one-sided. I'm hoping we're over the Caitlin, Raha, hoorah.
I'm not. I'm going to tell you that I'm not.
I mean, she's a great player, but she's got some development she still has to do too.
and so
She's not there.
that's
She's not
what I'm
there
looking
yet
forward to.
either.
Listen, I'm looking for her to come back with some, you know, because she's gonna have to bulk up, just like my girl Angel Reese.
She's got to bulk up. She's got to
Yeah.
do. I mean, she's got to develop her game more than just a logo 3. So hey,
Yeah.
you know.
the best
But
guard
I'm
that
looking.
ever played just retired, and in the women's game to me,
Definitely.
Diana Taurasi was the female.
Yes,
Kobe.
Brandon, you have to make a lot of sacrifices for sure.
Female Kobe.
Oh yeah. She's. I mean, so I'm just looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great season. I think it's going to be one of the better WNBA seasons we've seen in a long time.
I think not only is the competition better, I think the storylines are going to be there now. You know what I'm saying? I watched Angel Reese's podcast, and she had Lisa Leslie on there. Lisa's a basketball god. I'm talking about Lisa dropped it to her like
what is
hardcore.
the best ever?
You feel what I'm saying? And she asked Lisa, she was like, what do I need to work on my game? Lisa was like straight up and down, layups. I said, you know what I mean?
Basics.
Like, but exactly,
basics.
like
basics.
Layups and staying on your feet. You know what I mean? They call it a baby giraffe because she, you know what I mean? Because like you said, you go from playing against the SEC to playing against grown, seasoned
women.
Thanks.
Yeah. And the women game is more physical than the women. I'll say this: the women game is a better product, and it's more physical than the men's game.
Yep. The 3-point shot is killing the men's game.
And I'd rather watch the WNBA. I don't watch NBA basketball.
I don't.
And
not until the playoffs.
Exactly. And I'm a diehard basketball guy. You couldn't pay me any amount of money right now to go in the house and watch an NBA game. It's not. I don't enjoy it.
Listen, the NBA game looks like the old school rec right about time when Arthur Smith and the other white guys coming in, and it ain't no real balling. You know what I mean? Just come down, just shoot. You know, 3-point, just shoot. And it's just like I was now that game between I did catch the highlights of Dallas and LA. That was it had a little bit of some balling going on in that. But
but there's a reason that was only because we got points to prove at this time.
Yeah. But again, because they killing it. The 3-point line. You know what I'm saying? Steph Curry, as great as you are, I got you, but you killing the game, oh boy. Okay, because everybody think that they can just, like you say, logo 3, and that drafting players from high school thing ruined the NBA. We don't know who you could name the top. I mean, you guys are basketball. You all are basketball people, so you can name the top 5 rookies. But it used to be where they brought a fan base into the pros with them. You feel what I'm saying? We developed with them at college, at Duke, at North Carolina, at Wisconsin, or wherever. You feel what I'm saying? And it came to the NBA, and now it's just
And that's because the NBA drafts off potential. And that's sad. It's sad because people say, well, why do these Europeans come in as better basketball players? Coming as better basketball players is because they're actually being refined at an earlier age. A lot of the guys that played in the NBA have gone over to Europe
Thanks to the
teach the
dream
game
team.
of basketball. Even before that, if you go to Joe Bryant, guys of that nature that finished their time in the NBA, they will go over and moonlight and skill develop players, coach in their off time, and then a lot of these young guys are coming over. It started with Tony Kukoc,
No,
Dino Rodgers,
after
guys of that
the
nature.
dream team made it a matter of world
Oh yeah,
dominance. Like
they
countries
did.
like nah, we need to get these people over here because or what But go ahead.
And they play up. They always play up. Those guys like the Kukoc and the Ginobili, they were playing with the older guys well before they came here.
They were pros at 15, 16 years old.
Go.
That's why the game is so. You want to know why? Want to know why Luka liked to go out and have a good time and still come in and score 40? Because the NBA is easy to him.
Absolutely.
It was harder in Europe than it is to play in the NBA, and that's because the guys don't. They love what basketball. They love what basketball gives them. In terms of the money, the fame, the notoriety,
but that's
and
hurting.
that nature. They don't love the game of basketball,
and so they're not minding the game for the next generation, like LeBron and them with all this friendly. You feel what I'm saying? That's stripping it away. That's why I'm more a fan of the Caitlin Clark. You feel what I'm saying? Not that I want to see a fight, but I want to see, some real competitiveness. Not just you have all this other foolishness. You know what I mean? They got going on. Like it's hurting the game, man. It's hurting the game, and it's becoming a more world game than. But WNBA is about to step right in that pocket and fill that space. Watch and see what I tell y'all.
We just need the money to come along with it, but I feel you.
I think that's gonna come because I think the powers that be are shifting the forces that way, because now we got a product. We got Juju coming. We got, you feel what I'm saying? We got and so now they're going to take the time, because I don't think they did the same thing to build the character building around the NBA. You feel what I'm saying? Because those things had storylines. We knew what was man named Isaiah Thomas was from Chicago. You know what I mean? The West Side, and you know what I mean. And so they did a lot there was a lot outside of the game, aside from the good basketball, that they did to grow the NBA, that I think that they're going to now focus and pour into the WNBA.
Yeah. And if you really want to see some competitive basketball, check out Unrivaled if you haven't.
Unrivaled. Yep. On the women's side.
This is 3-on-3, and they had a 1-on-1 tournament. You talking about backyard playing. Those girls were getting it in that league. I'm impressed.
Comes on HBO Max.
TNT and True TV as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
No doubt. Hey, speaking of TNT, HBO, my man Jared's on ESPN. Tell us a little bit about the documentary, man, that dropped here recently.
man.
Yeah, break that down for us there a little bit, bro.
Well, the documentary was called 8 on 8, 8 different stories on Kobe Bryant and people who have impacted or had an impact on his life. And I guess I was a person that inspired Kobe in some aspect.
Well, hold on, Mr. Modest. Hold on now. You say you guessed. Was you in the documentary?
Yeah, I was.
I guess so. Carry on.
So it was extremely surreal, because after he passed away in some years ago, I never thought that I would have the opportunity to be in something like this. And it just so happened Jerry Bremery, who has wrote for ESPN for the past 30 years and has been writing for Anscape, which used to be the Undefeated, he reached out to me back in August. And in October, I went and sat with him for 2 hours. and that 2 hours became a 6 minute clip in his documentary that I'm thankful for.
No
So,
doubt.
Yeah, I gotta go watch that too. I haven't seen it, so thanks for the
I'm
reminder.
Jamal.
Thanks
Um,
for the reminder. No, that's big. That's big.
but
Yeah,
I'm
it's
I'm
big.
thankful.
Hey, it's yeah, it's big. It's big, huge. Okay. But if you take that story to Gab News first again before you bring it to the Players Only podcast, there's gonna be some problems. I'm gonna go ahead and
Ja-
let's clear
Jamal, do
the
you
room.
think that? Do you think that really was me?
No, I know how that went down. I know how
Okay,
that went down.
thank you.
Trust me, I know how that went down. I know how that went. That's why I said that to you about it, because I knew how it went down. But
So,
now, man, congratulations, man. And
Yeah.
that's huge, man, because again, Kobe, there was a big debate this morning on whether who's the best out of Kobe and LeBron. And people were throwing some numbers out there. And one of the arguments that people have against Kobe is that he only got one MVP. You know what I mean? And I would say that Colorado thing had a little bit to do with him only
had a
getting one MVP.
lot. It had a lot to do with it. It had a lot to do with it
Because
because
if you put the MVPs aside, and I know that's hard for some people to do, the numbers don't lie. Okay, and I love Bronny. Listen, I love Bron. I don't like this. I said Bronny. I didn't mean that. Now, I love LeBron James. Okay, I don't have no problem with Bronny, but that's another show. But you know what I mean? I don't. Kobe was that guy, not because he's passed on, but it's just the numbers don't lie. But again, that's up for argument. Because LeBron's going to play till he's 60, so of course he's going to break every record.
But like I tell people all the time, if he doesn't tear his Achilles, who knows what could have been. And it wasn't about longevity type numbers with him. He ain't had to play 25 plus years to get the, because he was on his way to breaking Kareem's record in under 20 years. Let's just
But
be honest.
now, let's not discount longevity now.
I'm not discounting.
That's a part of it. Now, being able to suit up every night. You got a Hall of Famer right here, 111 straight games. You feel what I'm saying?
I got to correct you on that one.
Okay, go ahead.
It was 111 in college, but honestly, I never missed a game.
But see, you ain't let me finish because I'm about to check Cal Ripken with the longest playing streak right now. You feel what I'm saying? So I was going to add that on there. You feel what I'm saying? That's just in college.
Yeah, that was just college.
So,
Rosemary.
I always got to factor in that. Were they there? You feel what I'm saying? Were they there? That's a part of that greatest, that great talk. You know what I mean? That longevity, because as great as good as Grant Hill was, just the body of work, you know what I mean? He didn't hold up, and that's part of it, being able to hold up under that pressure.
Him and Penny Hardaway. But what I will say is this, and I don't think people understand the stature of Michi's prowess. She played at USC Spartanburg when they were considered, in my humble opinion, to be considered a Division I basketball program, although they played at the D2 level. Cheney State used to be the same way. They didn't split until I think Michi and them got to college, where Cheney was a Division I program, because it used to be the AIAW, and then they changed it to all NCAA Division I, and then they added Division II programs. But I think Michi could have played anywhere she wanted to.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I had my reasons why I went to Spartanburg. They had apartments. I didn't want to live in a dorm. I mean, I had priorities that I wanted. So, I mean, that's why I chose that. And honestly, we were in AIA when I first went there. We transitioned to Division II. And then after I left, they became Division I.
Got you.
No doubt. And the change did they change logos at some point? Because I heard
they also changed logos. Yeah. When I played, we were the Rifles, running Rifles, and now they're the Sparta. I keep
Spartans.
Spartans. Yeah,
Spartans.
They're the Spartans.
Okay, wow. And just because I said I was going to get
Then the
you out
whole
of here.
name changed because we were University of South Carolina at Spartanburg, and now they're
It's
University of
upstate.
South Carolina upstate.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No doubt. Something else I wanted to ask you about that. It's all good. Because I can't fit it all in this one conversation, because we're gonna have a big round table of maybe homecoming. I think we're gonna try to put together a panel where, you know what I mean, we can all get together and have some just good old conversation about Andrews High sports and things.
But this was good. I appreciate you for inviting me. Of course, I was hesitant because I don't like these platforms as much, but it was good. It was good. I enjoyed the conversation with you guys, and I appreciate you for always supporting and always thinking highly of me, the little girl from Andrews, South Carolina.
A documentary should be done on Andrews High women
the
basketball.
Real, just so we can clarify this before the BMF and all this, the real big meats right here, baby. Okay, the real big meats. 50, like you just said, 50. Let's get the documentary done, baby.
And I'm serious. I mean, the lineage, the amount of talent of female athletes that came through Andrews that went on to play at the next level.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, and she's a part of the cream of the crop. And how we talk about the evolution of the women's game. She spawned that evolution that her aunt, my mother, and other women started. She spawned that. She's the first big, in my humble opinion, one of the first big guards on the female side to come out of Andrews High School. She might have played the three, but she was a big guard in college. So, that says a lot.
We didn't even get into that, all the changing of positions and all that comes into play when you change levels. So hey, we can come back and talk a whole lot more.
we going to, and I just, you know why this is important too, cuz it's so that when we were at the game and the coaches who really don't know us, right, they see that look on our face, maybe they can reference this and realize, like, these people come from a deep basketball history. Like by the time we got to Andrews High, there was no fundamental teaching. There was just strategy. You feel what I'm saying? And so it's and I want to see that back, because the game is so much more enjoyable when they able to bring the ball across half court. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
it's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, and and listen, I'm out. Hey, you see me? I keep day on. You know what I mean? Never, But I tell you, I watched them. Man, my schedules just won't allow it, man. But I wanted to be in tomorrow in Florence with Bowman. I know the coach. The little girl sitting on the front row, her dad is the coach of Bowman, and them in Denmark square off. Now,
okay.
You talk about, listen, I've been able to go to Blackville, Hilda, and see like North.
Levels.
Though Blackville Hilda has been around since my playing days.
Okay, so now, so my partner coaches at Blackville Hilda, and they on a comeback, right? And so when I say they on a comeback, earlier in the season, North would beat them by 40. They beat them by like 14, 15. You feel what I'm saying? But in that conference with North, Blackville Hilda, HKT, well, not Blackville Hilda so much, but HKT, Wilco,
Williston Elko.
Williston Elko. Hey man, that's some good basketball.
Can I
go
say
ahead.
Because I want people to understand this, and this is no knock on schools in this area. But what I will say is, please go see basketball outside of your local demographic. Just because your team is dominating on the coastal area or in the PD, don't mean that they're going down to the low country or going to the upstate to beat teams, because there are kids that are in other areas that play basketball too that are not only just talented, but they're well coached also. Please understand that. So your Blackville Hilders, your Denmarks, they play basketball well down there, believe it or not.
Not just during, like Cuz say, it's not just during basketball season. Okay, you want to be good at the basketball. After that last horn rings, that's when you start getting good. Okay, because like you said, you come back next season and you slapping the ball down court. But again,
you forget repetition.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
all right, guys.
Yes. Hey, Cuz, I appreciate you. Love you. Thank you.
Love you
once
too.
again.
Appreciate you, Jared. You know, nothing but love for you as well.
Yes, ma'am.
We family anyway too.
Yes. Thank you for allowing me to be on this beautiful podcast tonight, Jamal.
No, it's all good. It's all good. And we can kind of see your face a little bit, better, because I want to enter this like you know what I mean. I'm really serious. I'm entering this into to this thing. But but we're gonna work on that, because your conversation is golden. You feel what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm gonna platform you. You're gonna be the hood Stephen A.
Just give me 4 more months, man. I retire in August with the Lord's grace and mercy.
Again,
so I'll
man,
be able to have my own
you.
setup.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, man.
Hey, and now you get ready to be the hood Stephen A, baby. You know what I mean? It's all good.
All
hey,
right.
man, y'all have a good night. Thank everybody for hanging in there with us. Make sure you share, like, subscribe over there on YouTube and all that good stuff.
The most prolific scorer in the history of Rifle and Spartan women's basketball history, Jametria Hanna led the Rifles in scoring each of her 4 seasons, never missing a game, playing 111 all total. She scored 1,755 points in her career, averaging 15.8 points per game, while shooting 55.3% from the field. In addition to her position as the program's leading scorer, she also ranks 5th in program history in field goal percentage and 9th in total rebounds with 608. Following her playing career, Hanna served as an assistant coach for 5 seasons under head coaches Peggy Sells and Carmen Nealon, helping the Rifles to the program's first Peach Belt regular season and tournament championships and first 3 NCAA tournament appearances. In addition to her time as women's basketball assistant coach, Hanna was USC Upstate's first women's cross-country head coach in 1994. We welcome Jametria Hanna to the USC Upstate Athletic.